attachment styles. Let's start talking about the insecure attachment styles. So the first one is anxious-ambivalent attachment, or it can be referred to as anxious preoccupied attachment. And basically what this is it means that in your childhood you had inconsistent or unpredictable experiences of care and responsiveness from your caregiver. So that's going to create uncertainty and fear of abandonment, which will probably lead to heightened anxiety in relationships. So if you think about it, if you never know what you're going to get, positive or just nothing, and you're going to have to be hyper vigilant to see, okay, is this person, what's their mood like? How are they going to respond to me? And that would create a lot of anxiety in kids. Then again, would keep going into your adulthood until that was resolved. So what are some key characteristics of this? Well, you have fear of abandonment. You're going to be worried about being left or rejected by others. So if you think about it, like if you never know, you're going to be in that space that you could be abandoned at any moment from your relationships, because in your childhood you didn't understand when you were going to get what you needed. Clinginess and dependency. So you're going to seek constant reassurance, attention, and closeness, sometimes to the point of overwhelming others. Again, if in our childhood it was back and forth, in these relationships that you have now as adulthood, you're gonna think that you're not gonna get it. So you're gonna always try to do whatever you can to get it, even if it's negative. Emotional dysregulation. So you tend to have or experience intense emotions, including anxiety and frustration, especially when you perceive threats to your relationships, right? You always got to keep those relationships good and intact, and that can probably be overwhelming for you. Hypervigilance in relationships. So you can be highly attuned to the actions and moods of others, often interpreting minor signs as a rejection. So again, you're hypervigilant because you had to be as a child. So that's the behavior pattern that on how to get love in a relationship. So you have a push-pull dynamic. So you may crave closeness, but you fear rejection or abandonment, which can then result in behaviors that both draw somebody in and then pushes them away. Again, that same thing that you had in childhood. You get the love, you don't get the love. So we're just mirroring what we know, right? And so how does this happen in childhood? Well, a parent may be attentive and loving at times, but then they're distant and unavailable at other times. And again, you learn to be hyper-focused on the caregiver because you're trying to anticipate and respond to their inconsistent attention. And that creates that anxiousness and that anxious pattern that continues into adulthood unless we take care of it, right? So how does this manifest as an adult? Well, you're overanalyzing a partner's actions and you're seeking constant validation, which you had to overanalyze as a child. So it's just normal that you do it as an adult. You're going to struggle to trust that your relationships are secure. Again, because they weren't secure when you were younger. You never knew what you were going to get. You're going to feel overly dependent on partners or friends for emotional fulfillment. So again, it's just that same thing as a child, right? Like you don't know what you're going to get. So you're going to be dependent on them to help fill in that emotional need that you have. You're going to experience jealousy or fear of losing loved ones, even without clear evidence. And if you continue this attachment, this anxious, ambivalent attachment into adulthood, it will wear out the relationships, and it can lead to people not wanting to be around you, which is the fear, and then you're feeding into the fear, and it's kind of like a cycle for you. Can you heal and grow from this? Well, of course you can. We all can. And just a lot of inner work that we have to do. So therapy, of course, will help. The therapist is going to help you unpack your childhood patterns and help you develop better and healthier relational behaviors. Again, if you're having a hard time in adulthood and you're seeing these same patterns over and over again that you don't like that you're doing and you want to change them, the first thing that you have to do is kind of go back and see, like, why am I doing this? What did I not get in my childhood, or what happened to make me want to hold on so tight or overanalyze or have heightened emotions. Mindfulness. So you're going to learn how to self-regulate is what you need to do. Your emotions, and you reduce your overthinking. Mindfulness works really well for that. And there's a ton of mindfulness apps out, or, on YouTube, there's a ton of guided imagery that can help. Healthy relationships. So just being in a stable, supportive relationship with securely attached individuals can foster trust and security. It may be kind of hard to get into those if you don't start working on yourself, especially if you're like doing these behaviors to such an extreme, intense actions. But the more you work on you, you should be able to let that go and get those secure, healthy relationships that you want. And self-awareness. You're going to identify triggers and practice self-compassion that can reduce the intensity of your anxious feelings. So truly, just working on ourselves is just going to help you become a better you. It'll be difficult and hard to do, but in the end, it is totally worth it, because you want to have healthy, happy relationships, and you want to be healthy and happy. So my question to you, does anybody who's watching this video think they have this attachment style? Just drop 100 down or comment, and then why do you think you have it, and have you unpacked it at all? Or have you tried to unpack it at all?